Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Hello, and welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday.
Feels good to be back.
I am the great and peaceful mystery.
And I'm just Jay today.
And we have a fauna that is a request
Oh, that's exciting.
from the school that listens to us.
Oh,
So they requested the long-tail Planigale.
Planigale?
Planigale?
I've never heard such creature.
Well, I'm probably mispronouncing it, but it's also known as Ingrid's Planigale and the northern Planigale.
Ooh.
But no, it's the world's smallest marsupial.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's very interesting. Now, marsupials as a group are very strange animals. What does the word marsupial mean, young Jay?
It's got a pouch. Like a kangaroo or a koala bear or a possum.
Yes, all are correct. The long-tailed Planigale, also known as, like I said, Ingrid's Planigale or the northern Planigale, is the smallest of all marsupials. It's one of the smallest of all mammals, as a matter of fact.
I'm still trying it. Planigale? Planigale?
Yeah. Planigale. Or gall.
Gale? I don't know.
Yeah.
But keep going.
Yeah, I know. You're the one interrupting me.
Sorry.
It's the smallest of all mammals, or all marsupials, and it is one of the smallest of all mammals. It is rarely seen, but is quite common to inhabit the black topsoil of the plains, clay soils of the woodlands, and seasonal floodland grasslands of Australia.
Oh, so it's an Australian
Yes.
fauna.
As far as most marsupials.
Most.
Most.
But not all.
Not all. These guys are really tiny, but they have an extraordinary head shape. All Planigales have a very flattened head, much broader and deeper than most other marsupials. This small Planigale will take the texture to an extreme. It's just about 3 to 4 millimeters from top to bottom of the skull. It's 1/5 as deep as it is wide,
Oh, wow.
like a shovel.
Yeah.
Their skulls are like a shovel. The purpose, it seems, is to allow it to squeeze into the tiniest of the cracks in the soil, and it also allows it to find prey and to avoid predators, or more preferably, both. The cracks in the black soils of the top earth or the top end typically develop deep cracks as the dry season before the monsoons come back. This persists right up to the end of the 8th month dry season until it begins again. Usually producing floods that force small creatures like this into seek refuge into higher ground. So they're kind of like, if you look at the little map of where these guys are found in Australia, they have a really, really big chunk in the top end of Australia, and then these tiny little isolated pockets like all over the northern half of the continent. So it's really cool. These guys prefer floodplains and savanna woodlands. Like I said, they really want these cracks in the topsoil. As the riparian areas have the black soil. It's also found across northern Australia in the Planigale through the Great Sandy Desert, the Kimabari region in Western Australia, the Barkly Tablelands in the Northern Territory, and Townsville in Queensland. Little known fact, that's where the Powerpuff Girls are from.
Queensland?
Townsville.
Townsville, you're right. That's right. The city of Townsville.
So when you think of Australia, you think of
Powerpuff
the
Girls.
deserts and all this. These guys do prefer temperate climates. Australia's a very big continent.
Right.
So
right.
there's a lot of other climates.
So they're like basically the marsupial mice of Australia.
Kind of.
Yeah.
They're kind of between mice, moles,
yeah.
and even some amphibian kind of niches they're taking.
Oh, okay.
They are polygamous. They have 4 to 12 babies. They're independent at 3 months old. Breeding takes place any time of the year, mostly during the wet season. 4 to 8 young are born on average, sometimes seen as many as 12 in the southern populations. The young spend 6 weeks in the backwards facing pouch, and then about another 6 weeks hidden in the grass nest.
Okay. Man, so they reach maturity fast.
Yeah, like it said, it's almost the mouse mimic for these guys.
Gotcha.
So mice have to, when you're that small and you get eaten by everything, you have to move quick.
Right, yeah.
Are you ready for some interesting facts?
Oh, yeah.
So it is the smallest marsupial in the world. Is kind of what it's famous for. It can reach about 0.12 to 0.16 inches in length.
Wait, that's it? They're that small?
Yes. I'll re-say that. Now, it's not including the tail,
Right.
because they are the long-tailed ones.
Right.
So they have a pretty long tail for their body. No, it's 1/10 of an inch to 1/5 of an inch.
They're that small?
Yeah.
That's almost like impossibly small.
That's why they're one of the smallest mammals and the smallest marsupial.
Dang, okay.
Literally, and they're very common. They're crazy. And they have a pouch that babies fit inside.
Which, yeah, it's got to be tiny little pouch.
And they can weigh up to 0.15 ounces.
Wow.
Males and females are roughly the same size as far as most scientists can tell. We don't know if there's any sexual dimorphism, but when we're looking at animals this tiny, you might as well get a microscope out.
Right.
They have gray-brown fur with tinges of yellow on their back and pale-colored fur on their belly. They have a very, very flattened head, pointed snout, needle-like teeth, mouse-like body with a long, thin, hairless tail.
Ooh. It's those hairless tails that are just...
The skull shape is extremely weird. Like, it literally, thing can't really dig.
Does it use its head to, like...
Like I said, the giant cracks that form,
Yeah.
it lives in those.
So
There's thousands of them living in these cracks, and they just kind of use their flat head to force their way through these gaps.
Yeah, because their body, I'm sure, can squeeze through just like a mouse, anything.
Yeah, but it's 5 times wider than it is deep.
Deep, yeah. So its brain has got to look weird.
It's like a crocodile. Kind of imagine a crocodile skull being really wide and flat.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird little animal. Yeah, hairless tail. They are nocturnal creatures. They're mostly active during the night. These guys are carnivores.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what they're eating?
Worms? Bugs?
Yes.
Okay.
That's about it.
Let's just say what else? There's no other option.
Insect larvae, grasshoppers, and crickets are among their favorite food. They have been witnessed eating other small mammals and lizards.
That are probably already dead.
No.
Oh.
These guys are... So it's like the Arctic vole, which is a different animal,
Right?
is one of the most aggressive predators on the planet.
Okay.
And it's a little bigger than this.
Right, okay.
So they're known for taking out other like rodent-like animals bigger than them because they just grab and shake. They just try to take chunks off of whatever they're killing. So a lot of these little mammals, these little needle teeth, are little monsters.
Right, yeah. And the hairless tails, too, is gross.
They can starve to death really quick as why.
Oh, okay.
So big animals like polar bears, they go 4, 5, 6 months without eating. I think most of these, I don't know these guys for sure, but I know like the Arctic vole, I think it's only like 6 hours.
What?
And it'll starve to death.
Oh, wow.
And most time it's every 2.
That's an awful
So that's why they
existence.
literally, everything they run into, they will try to murder.
And eat, yeah.
There's that video of that one of them, like a guy being attacked by one. Keep in mind, it's like the size of a hamster. And it's like biting his foot and trying to take a chunk off his foot.
Did he kick it?
He had a shoe on. So he just laughing as his thing's like, no.
He's trying to survive.
Yeah. They prefer these deep cracks in the soil. You can find where they can find plenty of food. They use their extremely flat heads to extract the prey from the cracks or to hide inside them. Despite their small size, they can easily kill prey their own size and even a couple magnitudes bigger.
Wow.
So don't count them out yet.
No. Let's put them in a battle arena.
I mean, they would kill a lot of things. They are nest and hide inside the cracks in the soil, grass under leaves during the day. They have a torpid state, which is a period of dormancy characterized by the decrease in body temperature and metabolic rate, each state to conserve energy.
Okay.
So during the heat of the day, they actually go into what's called torpor,
Okay.
which is like a passed out state.
Stasis.
It's like almost like mini hibernation.
Okay. Just in the heat, though?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Australian animals do not, like even reptiles, do not go out during the heat of the day
Interesting.
because it sucks.
Well, yeah. I can attest to that.
Their natural enemies are domestic cats, cane toads, and snakes.
Cane toads. Aren't they invasive?
Yes, and so are the domestic cats.
Oh, no. Not the cats again.
Freaky Fauna Friday does not care for domestic cats.
Well, I mean, I like...
A lot of these animals are put on the endangered species list just due to domestic cats.
Now, that's facts. That's not to say I don't like cats, because I do. I like
Keep
cats.
a cat in your house.
I like being around them.
These guys are solitary creatures. Their territorial behavior has not been demonstrated in this species yet, but no more research needs to be looked into it. We think they are semi-territorial.
Okay.
They may be eating each other. We do not know. Mating season for these guys takes place all year round, but it reaches their peak during the wet season. That mimics a lot of rodents and stuff like that.
Okay.
The males and females will have multiple partners during a mating season. They do not mate for life or anything like that. They don't keep a single partner for a whole season. Nothing like that. They're continuously, because they don't live that long.
Right, yeah. They're just trying to reproduce as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Pouches on the female open towards the rear of the animal. This way, the female can dig in the soil and not fill her pouch full of food.
That's interesting. That's a different feature.
Yeah, so some marsupials have that. Some are rear-facing pouches and some are forward-facing pouches.
Yeah.
Look at kangaroos and that kind of thing. They have forward-facing pouches.
Well, I'd say it's more common, right? It's forward-facing.
Depends. Like, I think wombats have a backward-facing. Like, is it a digging animal or is it not a digging
Right,
animal?
yeah.
That's kind of the question.
Makes the big difference.
But yeah, because if you had your pouch facing forward and you're digging, you're just going to fill your pouch full of dirt.
Right, really fast.
Little is known about the pregnancy of these animals. We just know they end with 4 to 8 babies on average. Underdeveloped babies complete their embryonic development attached to one of 10 nipples inside the pouch for the next 6 weeks. So like a lot of marsupials, like I don't know if you know this about kangaroos, they have like 20 babies and they only have 2 nipples.
No, I did not know that.
So they come out, baby kangaroos come out about the half the size of a jelly bean.
Yes.
They have to crawl up and get into the pouch and seal themselves to one of the nipples. The rest of them will die. Once the mom feels that at least one is sealed, most of the time she'll eat the other ones.
Oh, jeez.
So we don't have any idea what these guys do, but we imagine it's something very similar.
Yeah.
Where, like I said, they have up to 12 nipples, but or 10 nipples, but they have been witnessed to carry 12 offspring.
Huh.
So we think it may not be as hardcore as with some of the larger marsupials, that they may not completely fuse. Like, they don't fuse. The kangaroo embryo doesn't fuse to the mother's nipple.
They latch on.
But yeah, it's almost like that.
Right, yeah. They ain't
They
letting
do
go.
come off. Like, they have to finish their embryonic development.
Right. Aren't possums the same way, too? Don't they?
Yeah,
Little
kinda.
pink jelly beans that crawl up into the pouch?
But they are a little more developed than kangaroos.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, I mean, literally, a kangaroo looks like a 10-week-old human fetus.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts to see.
And they got to crawl up and make it somewhere.
Right, yeah.
The young of these creatures become ready independent of the age of around 3 months old. Want to guess how old we found them in the wild to be? The oldest one we've ever found?
1.5 years.
You're so close.
Really?
1.3.
Oh, dang. I went long.
1 year, 4 months.
Oh, I was really close.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You're 2 months off.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Bird of Prey got it.
Darn it. Yeah, is there a big owl population in Australia?
No, I mean, these guys are tiny.
Yeah.
I don't think you get how, like, people at home, you may not understand how absolutely tiny these little animals are.
But, you scoop up about 800 of them, you got yourself a meal.
I guess.
800, yeah. No, I don't know.
No, they're cool little animals.
Yeah.
So there's a couple animals that kind of break this, and they get up to like 3 inches long. I think, like, I'm looking right now just to see. I think a lot of times, like, the big ones will be up to like maybe 3 inches is kind of where they max out.
Okay.
But they have been like there's specimens that are literally encapsulated that are the size of your thumbnail.
Well, it makes sense, though, that
Like, that's when they're ready. They can breed
with that.
when they're the size of your thumbnail.
It makes sense, though, filling that niche.
They're so-
Living in those cracks, you got to be tiny.
I mean, that's an adult. I'm showing
Oh, yeah.
Jay
I
an
showed
adult
pictures,
female.
just sitting on top of someone's thumb.
I mean,
Those would be fun little pets.
like I said, without the tail. With the tail, all of them will probably be about 3 inches long.
Gotcha.
I bet you they would. A lot of marsupials, like domestic there's no such thing as domestic possum, but a lot of people have golden possums, even Virginia possums, the American possum, as pets. And after a couple generations, they do mellow out. And these guys, there are short-tailed possums, which are common in the pet trade, which look just like these guys, are just bigger,
Interesting, okay.
like hamster-sized.
Yeah. These guys would be cool to have like a little fish tank full of.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, they
whatever
probably
you-
murder each other.
Well, I mean, you get yourself a good family population. I mean, eventually, all animals murder each other at some point.
I'm just saying that we think they're probably fairly territorial.
Well, you get one family, so there's no territory disputes. Until, like, the males get too old, then you feed them to the snakes.
Yeah, I don't think any of my snakes would even realize these things are a lot there. how absolutely tiny they are. No, so they're really cool, though. As far as, so I was talking about that with mammal biology, invertebrate biology as a whole. There's a couple animals that break what we understand to be the smallest vertebrates. Now, there's animals like, there's a lot of fish species, for example, that give birth to like microscopic babies.
Okay.
That grow into big animals later. We're talking about fully completing life cycle. You know, these guys are tiny for that. Elise starters they're a fish. And there's a type of chameleon that's only like half an inch long.
Okay.
And the Elise starter's like a quarter to a half an inch long. Huge ones. I mean, I've seen a couple that maybe have been almost an inch.
Dang.
Maybe. I mean, that would have been getting the fish stretcher out.
Right, yeah.
And that group of animals I just talked about all kind of break the conventional rules of nature that we think of how small a vertebrate can be and still have complete life functions.
Is a water bear vertebrate?
No.
Okay.
Invertebrate. They have different rules.
Gotcha.
There is no rules in nature. If you haven't learned anything from this show yet, that the man-made rules to nature do not exist.
No, they're always getting broken.
I mean, what are we talking about? Pistol shrimps, manna shrimps, stargazers, electric eels have all broken the rules of conventional biology.
Yes.
Even physics. A couple of those animals I just mentioned have broken the rules of physics, and then they changed physics around that animal.
If there is a rule, nature will break it.
And that's, I think this week, we already talked about that on the main episode of Crips of Corn podcast. I think it's called the Bad Physics Explanation episode.
Interesting.
Yeah. But no, these guys, thank you guys for submitting this. I hope your school enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Very interesting creatures. The one I tangentially knew about, but not really.
Which one?
This creature.
This one. Oh, gotcha.
The Planigale, I think is how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Some of the YouTube videos I was watching I've heard everything from like, almost like Pringle. Like Planigale.
Oh, okay. I guess it is Australian, huh? You gotta have that accent.
Planigale.
I don't know what it is, though.
Like a Billaby.
A Billaby?
A Billaby.
What's a Billaby?
Well, maybe it'll be another Freaky Fauna Friday.
I have the ability to figure it
it's
out.
It's another marsupial. It's like halfway between this and a kangaroo.
Interesting. Sounds like fun.
They get murdered a lot.
Sounds freaky.
Oh, what would you tell the guys going into the weekend? How should they deal with this life?
Well, let's hope you got no homework this weekend. Any good a decent teacher would send you home with no homework over the weekend. So just remember that, and remember, go outside and just enjoy the sun this weekend while we still have it. You know, we're up in the northern part of the U.S., I'd say. So, you know, when winter comes, you know, it comes fast. So right now we got some sunshine, so go out and enjoy it. Get that fresh vitamin D.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. All right. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.